about this. You don't have to throw this into the pedophilia realm, and if you do, that's obviously your problem. This is a movie. I mean, how many...
Well, but I think also timing-wise, with the whole Kevin Spacey thing, I think when people are upset about that side of the movie, saying it is a pedophilia thing, I think it's just that was kind of in the public consciousness at the time. So it was really easy to, hey, pedophiles everywhere, seeing them everywhere.
Yeah, but when we were young teenage bucks looking for our first score, it could have been a teacher. It could have been our friend's mother. This is what great love stories are made of from Summer of 42 on. I mean, why is it when it's gay, and, it's automatically pedophilia? Yes, I understand that's the climate, but don't shit on this movie for that. Either you enjoy it or you don't. So, oh, God, so we've had a recurring theme during this show on sexuality and transgenderism and all that. I'm going to close it out with a little story going back to Providence, Rhode Island, where I'm from. Dirty Providence, 1970s. Oh, shit, I may have been 14 years old. Speaking of being a minor. And I remember I used to be able to get served in any bar in Providence, even at 14, without an ID. And I was hoisting Frosty Schooners and Narragansett beer all night in the Safari Lounge in some alley in downtown Providence. And I stumbled out of there drunk into the alley. And this woman came up to me and she said, "You want to ride?" She pulled up in her car. And I was just getting ready to hitchhike back to my place in Barrington where I was living. And I got in the car with her, and we didn't quite make it to Barrington. We got as far as North Providence, Rhode Island, and she pulled into a cul-de-sac, and she looked at me, and I'm in the front seat, no seatbelts at the time, and she said, "Do you want to see my titties?" And I was like, yeah, I think so. And she pulled out one of her breasts, and I looked at it, and I played with it, and I enjoyed it, and well, push came to shove, and I wish I had sound effects, but if I could make a zipper sound, I would. And before you knew it, my stuff was out, and she was going downtown. And I was loving it. And, at 14, 13 years old, I was ready to go. And just as I'm about to pop, I felt a vague scratch of beard stubble on my inner thighs. And I thought, holy shit, it's a guy. And yet at the same time, the question becomes, well, what do? Do you pop? Or not? To pop or not to pop? Well, what do you think I did, Dave?
I'm going to go with pop.
I popped. I jumped out of that car, and I don't know how I got back to Barrington, Rhode Island that night, but... every time I tell that story throughout my teen years, henceforth, all my friends, they just look at me like, "You're gay." Well, no, but I'm also not going to, waste a good load. It's as simple as that. And so what if I was gay? You know what I'm saying? And transgendered, we did this whole story about Eddie Murphy. It's so sad. I remember going all the way back to my days in New Orleans when I was a barker on Bourbon Street doing that live nude girls, take a looky at all that nookie bullshit. When I was doing that play, there was a transgender bar right across the way called Papa Joe's. And I used to, after work, I'd hang out with these women, and who do I love? I love Jackie Beat. I don't think Jackie Beat qualifies as a transgendered, more of a drag queen, and I don't want to insult anyone on that. But before the T was in the LBG, it was hard. Options were very limited for transgendered folk, and that's why they were reduced to working the streets and working in these bars and that sort of thing. And today, well, thank God, it's a whole different story. you're in the gray zone. Mark Ebner. Hit me up on PayPal if you like what you're hearing. Even if you don't like what you're hearing, if you want me to stop,
send more money.
Send more money. Mark Ebner 59 at gmail.com. Break me off a piece of lettuce. I'm gonna dedicate this episode of The Gray Zone to my late father, Dr. Herbert Ebner. And I'm going to yak at you next week here on The Gray Zone.